Ooh la la, John.
John's gone.
Look at that.
Bonjour.
I think it's sushi. Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour.
So this is we're on the
Captain
YouTubes.
Ça va?
On the YouTubes right now.
We're on the YouTube. Our YouTube.
Right now. On that YouTube.
Right, I'll start then. I'll start us off. The intro.
Sucky's disappearing, obviously.
Sucky's flashing his ass
Just
with the
trying.
entire YouTube.
Is he? Is he going
close
for a
the window.
He's going for a DVD to show everybody later.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
just put.
no, I better get that ready now.
Oh,
What's he got already?
There you go.
is it going to be the new one?
No, I can't be bothered to get that down.
So weird being a fox.
Lindsay says hello, by the way.
Where
Hi,
is she under
Lindsay.
your desk?
No, for fuck's sake, you. This is
Yeah,
on the
that's gone on
YouTube, and she
YouTube.
does it. Yeah.
Don't worry, Sucky. Nobody fucking watches it. You're all right.
Oh, yeah.
I used to do my hair for
Sucky
YouTube.
belly.
I don't even do my hair now.
I'm back. I'm not a fox anymore.
Oh,
That was for YouTube, especially for you YouTube.
YouTube.
that one viewer. Cliff's mum.
Hey, we get a good fucking 60 now. Odd.
Do we?
Yeah.
No.
100
Please
on
tell me it's
some of them.
69.
No, it's just Bob watched it 58 times, and then me and Sheps.
Do
That is
people
it.
actually
Yeah.
watch it?
Yeah,
I
I
better
watch
start-
it.
I better
I
start-
always watch it.
Watch what? I missed it.
YouTube
Video.
of this.
Oh, no, I don't watch it. Mrs. does.
Does she?
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, she watches
We better
it
watch
all
our
the while.
language then.
In a
Is it
in
because
a
she's-
She's down, she's
it
down
because
these
she's-
rabbit holes of
Is it
the
because she's
health
is
thing.
it because she's heard that you get your knob out for the YouTube and she hasn't seen it for 30 years?
and is it also because she never sees you because you're always doing fucking podcasts?
No. She just, she just wants to see a
Is
glimpse
she
of you
miss-
guys. And
Oh.
I keep saying,
All right.
you guys are on there. That's the only time you're going to see them.
This is to
All
Sucky's
right.
wife.
I've met your wife. She cooked me an
Oh.
amazing meal.
Oh, favoritism.
So this is like Pornhub for your missus. Then.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
Look at it.
Bearing in mind that Sucky's beloved will be watching this.
Yeah,
Oh,
you wouldn't be
wait.
behaving yourself.
No,
Just,
no.
bet
I'm
you-
available November, December for meals.
Well, come on over then. No problem.
Come on over. It's that Shania Twain song.
Come on over, let me be the one that shows you. Reach
wasn't-
round.
Come on over. Oh, never mind.
Where's that come from?
I don't know. We're going to do fucking podcast or what?
Right.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Kick us off. Right.
In one take.
I'll try. Right.
With
I
no
tried to-
interruptions at all.
Yeah, none. We won't be smiling or gooning.
Oh, I'm going to look
Like
the other way. Welcome to another Around the Console. Oh, wait a minute. I'll start that again.
Where's Sucky gone? Sucky just left. He
Well,
just fucked off.
Sucky walked away.
But he didn't, he didn't- he was
So-
trying not to put you off with his handsome features.
Yeah,
What an arsehole.
Right, ready. Welcome to another Around the Console. I am Sheps, and I'm joined here with my fellow crewmates, John, Sucky, Bob, and Craig. And today, we delve into John Merrick in space. No, Timelash.
John Pelican Space.
Time Lash or Time Gash. Which one are you? We'll go to Craig first.
Oh, well, I've got to say, I will tell you what I think in a second. I'll come to a very clear answer on that. When I watched this for the first time, I have to say how much I loved it. But every attempt since, time gash. Total gash. Biggest gash in the world. And I've not seen many, if any.
Good. Right, we move on quickly to Bob.
Just your mum's when you popped out. That's probably the only gash you've ever seen.
I didn't look back.
Oh, bless. Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. I was quite excited about getting my season 22 box set Blu-ray, and then there's some good stuff on there. It's all right. They've done a CGI job on it, and it looks a lot better. But the bit I remember most as a kid was the bit where they're in the time lash coming down the whatever it is, the sticky out things and all that. Because that was, I think it was in Doctor Who magazine when it was weekly. There was a picture of it, or it could have been actually the bit in Two Doctors where he's whatever. Anyway, I remember it just being quite striking and quite good, and I quite enjoyed it. It was fine. But my most enjoyment from this, having to watch this, was going through the extras on the Blu-ray, and my highlight which was superb, was an interview with Nicola Bryant with Matthew Sweet, and that to me it was gift enough for watching it, because I probably wouldn't have watched it if I hadn't had to pick this up. So that was the bonus, but it's fine. I think it's Time Lash. I think it's probably better if you're on the Time Lash, getting lashed.
Yeah, I think so.
On crack, probably. I don't know, but yeah, it was cool. There's some good parts of it, and there's some, but more bland parts of it. But yeah, I like it.
John, what do you think?
It's all right. I mean, I don't want to echo everybody else, but I'm kind of getting used to these sorts of episodes, and it's not terrible and by any stretch. There's some good performances in there. There's some decent. There's a lot of beige as usual in this era, but plenty happens. It goes pretty fast, and yeah, I liked the Doctor in this one a lot. I thought he was great. So yeah,
That's a good one. And Suki?
It's shit. Honestly, oh my God, there were so many things wrong with this. I just can't believe. I only watched it the once, and I watched the special edition because I didn't want to watch the original version, because the original version of him climbing down into the Time Lash was just terrible. There was some wooden acting, there's some bad acting, there's some over the top acting. It just wound me up. And I've watched this once when we was originally going to record this, and I couldn't be bothered to go back again.
I'm going to second that. Definitely.
Well, I think.
Go on then.
So I didn't watch the special because when I downloaded it, it wasn't special. So I watched it like the original, and it was okay. There was a lot of shit in it, like Suki says. I just think it was just too long for me. That was all. But there was a lot of good bits in it as well. Like, for example, when it goes to H.G. Wells, that little setup of the whole scene was really nice, the way it was done. And it's not like, people, this gets slagged off to say the budget was really bad, but he had a lot of different scenery going on underneath. You had, the spaceship, you had the TARDIS. The story lacks for just being a tad too long for me.
I think it's a weird one, because Glenn McCoy, the writer, was brand new to writing in general, to life or whatever. But I mean, the concept itself, or the idea, it's fairly simple. You know what I mean? There's not a lot to it. And I think you can equate that to the sets, to a lot of it. It's all very box ticking by, the book ticking by. But there's some cool stuff in it. And the HGL stuff I thought was brilliant. And the fact you didn't find out to the end. And I thought who played him was great. I think it was, and that scene, you're right, at the beginning was lovely. The actress who was in that, I can't remember, I don't know her name or anything, but she was not very good at acting. Vina, yeah. No, she was poor. But there was some good actors in this as well. I don't know the names of them and stuff. But the guy that sort of died.
A fan.
Well, I didn't really do my research on this one, John, much, I'm afraid. The guy, he's actually quite famous. At the beginning, he was the main, whatever they are. Again, we watched this 2 weeks ago now, because we had to postpone the podcast, so I'm trying to remember. But the main dude who Avon replaced, Paul Darrow's character, was very good.
Deacon, yeah.
He's been in quite a lot of stuff, I remember. There was some good people in it.
Was the Borat's, the human?
He was great.
He's well, I recognised his voice, and I couldn't be asked who he was. What's he from?
Dennis Carey.
Yeah.
The one that played the old man on the screen.
Yeah.
He's Professor Cronout. He's from Sharda.
In Sharda,
I knew I
But
recognised
the guy that actually played the Borad,
Robert Ashby.
Was great. And I thought his makeup was, and all that was
It was
quite,
all right, that.
quite good.
Yeah, I agree.
I struggled to get convinced he was so powerful, because he was just sort of flapping in a chair with a fizz. But it was cool, that two-face thing and all that. And it was darker, in there. It was quite a nice, grim, dimly lit set.
Yeah, the lighting was good at that point.
It seemed like half a monkey mask.
It was a lovely concept, wasn't it? That it was this product of his own experimentation that had gone wrong, which I quite liked. And I did like the way in which he was he was a bit kind of Frankenstein bridal, wasn't it? He was trying to set himself up, Perry, to be, his sexual partner. But it was that horror side coming through. I thought that was quite clever, the way they looked and the way he had his kind of future bride in the making.
So yeah, I thought it was good. I just felt like this whole story with Perry wound me up with her.
She didn't do anything.
She was just a scream queen to the
Yeah.
point where it
Hates
was
his story.
annoying.
Yeah.
And it was like there was points in it where it's like, I'm trapped at the side of the corner and this alien thing's shouting at me. He goes, well, just piss off then.
Just walk out the side. She could
Walk
come
away
down.
over there.
They
Yeah.
both were. They
Yeah.
both were very unhappy with this script. Colin
Yeah.
Baker and
Yes.
Nicola Bryant, in particularly. As
I
you
don't see that from
rightly
Tom
pointed out.
Baker though. I think he's professional enough to carry.
I
to
think
do a
he's.
good
he's
job.
I think he's great. Colin
yeah.
Baker.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I
sorry.
think he's,
Yeah.
I think he's great in this. I think
he's
one
a
of his.
cracking season. Yeah.
Yeah, and season 22 is great.
I love it.
You know, I forgot how actually quite good it is, and I think there's a bit of Vengeance on Varos look as well of that Borad bit, which I love. Vengeance on Varos. I think it's a brilliant.
I do.
adventure.
See, I assumed that Borad was going to be the master in disguise, like in
Always.
Yeah.
like in Always, yeah. Especially when you see over the shoulder, you just see his long fingers, and you're thinking, well, that just looks like the fucking.
Were you
wearing
were
a
you
suit.
disappointed, John, or were you happy that it wasn't the master?
I was. You've got to be honest. It's more of whatever. There was a lot of meh involved in it. But since I think, I mean, I just wanted to point out the Doctor's performance in this. He's really good, but he's also an annoyingly rude bastard in this one as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
I found
this
that.
is
I found
Col-
that.
Colin Baker's Doctor.
It's
pretty
really
much.
snappy.
Yeah. I know that's his thing. So he did that really well. But I do think the writing in terms of like everybody stopped talking over Perry and other people. But it just it is what it is. I think the story is pretty standard fare for
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's definitely standard.
that era.
And it's also the Caves of Androzani a little bit as well with you know the mirror and
And
you
the
know
mask.
if she looked at you and all that kind of stuff. And I thought like as well the when they're trying to put it back to the John Pertwee picture reveal.
Love that.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
good.
And I love that as well because what it did at the time when we didn't have the internet was made you go fucking hell. Have I missed an
Have I
episode?
missed
What was that
something?
from?
Yeah.
You know, and all that sort of stuff. And I love it when it does that, Doctor. And I think that's don't know if it's down to JNT, but he's normally responsible for little bits like that. You know, putting it into that's not great.
What, jeans and
great something.
t-shirt?
Jeans, yeah. Thanks to jeans and t-shirt. Yeah,
T-shirt.
and I like that kind
Does
of
anybody know? I was going to ask. Does anybody know if they've actually done a like big finish?
Course
thing
they will have done.
before that?
If
No.
if they haven't, they'll
Haven't
do
they?
one.
Because
haven't,
that's a missing a trick there.
They've done everything else. They will have to do that one day.
Yeah, they're filling everything.
While we're talking big finish, have they actually novelized or done a big finish production of the original season 23 that was had gone into pre-production but never got done?
They
The
did
Lost Stories.
the
They
Lost
did, yeah.
Stories, yeah.
Is it a novel or is it audio?
No,
Audio.
they've done audios of it.
Okay,
And they did an audio of Sylvester McCoy's what would be in his fourth season as well.
Did
and it's quite hard work, but yeah.
There's been
Okay, right.
talking books. I mean, Nightmare Fair, and I think there's something else. Mission to Magnus. They
Yeah.
were all stories that were for this the following season,
Yeah.
but they got cancelled. So there's been novelizations, and
Oh,
I think
great.
there's been some audio books as well.
The novelizations I'd really fancy listening to because I've obviously gone through season 22 and watched it all, and it kind of when this was broadcast, I was so in love with Doctor Who at this point, including this, and I remember the H.G. Wells moment and wanting him to be a future companion. And I remember,
Really?
yeah,
Such an annoying little cunt.
Yeah,
Oh, I
no.
like
Yeah.
him. I
Yeah,
like him.
I agree
Yeah,
with
but he
John
was
now.
so annoying.
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
he was.
God.
Yeah. At the time, I really wanted him to be in the crew, but now I'm glad he wasn't because I
Well,
found him really irritating.
He had a better script than Perry though. She
I
was
think he
all the way through
repla-
was going and he was
Yeah,
like
but-
asking what she should have been
Yeah.
asking.
I think he replaced Perry.
Yeah.
I as a kid at that age, I thought Perry was going out and he was coming in, kind of like a new Adric. It was probably just my fantasy.
Weirdly enough, Craig, I was down the British Legion with
Oh, God.
H.G. Wells last Friday, and he was very complimentary about you. So
Right,
there you go.
that's really nice because I'm a lover of H.G. Wells' novels. I was really quite
But
good about.
didn't he get the Morlocks in? Weren't they in the time machine? The
Yeah.
Morlocks or something
Yeah.
like
There's
that.
there's
yeah.
references
Murlocs,
to
huh?
4 of his books
Yeah.
in there.
Right.
Yeah, the
okay.
Morlocks is the that
They're the ones
creature that looks
live
like
underneath.
a reskin of the Never-Ending Story
Hmm.
fucking creature. Just really bad puppetry. The Morlocks.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
But the Morlocks, its face was quite good in this. The face was quite good.
Yeah.
I thought, for the budget and time or whatever, it was a bit weird on the arm thing and all that sort of stuff.
Had they've cut to it a bit better, maybe the direction, so you didn't see that whole long protrude body, it might have looked good. Yeah, because the face was good. But on that,
and if it had been dark, if it had been a bit more darker lit as well, right, and kept a bit more in the shadows, it would have looked a lot more menacing. But it just looks the long neck does not help that creature, and having it in such a wide shot in some of the scenes does not help that creature.
Because when you get photographic stills of this story, it looks amazing. But when you actually watch it, because obviously they've been chosen really carefully, but when you see the whole thing, it just doesn't. It doesn't hold up. It just looks
painted. With this the special edition with the new CGI effects. I can't, like I said earlier on, the bit where they're in the time lash, in the time tunnel climbing down.
Yeah.
Now in the real thing, you only see the sort of hexagon sticking out, but on the special edition, they've got it's just covered in this whirry vortex, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it's quite cool.
I have to say that climbing frame was really good. Actually, I thought in terms of like Doctor Who sets, and let's be honest, we've seen some shit sets. That was at least interesting enough to make it. It's a vertical fucking thing that people don't do that.
I missed that part
sets in it. There was a lot of sets in it, which was good.
Yes,
do you think maybe
was that?
Set,
Well,
there was a lot of that as well.
There was potential sex. You know, the Borat wanted it, didn't he? He wanted Perry to get
bit of Perry accent. Yeah. But I just think, do you think maybe the story was a bit too ambitious for what they could afford?
The story wasn't ambitious. The story was the Borat wanted to repopulate his planet in his own image, right? Using Perry as his first mate, basically, right? But it was a simple story. It wasn't ambitious. It just got bogged down with production values. The inexperienced writer, the main cast and crew being taken out of the actual rehearsal time to do a pantomime that the producer was running, so they had less time to prepare for the serial. So you had all these sort of problems, and it didn't help the production. It should have just been a nice, simple story and fairly well acted. If all the individuals had been there to be able to say this is the way it should be done. And Peter Roberts should have been able to go around telling these actors, don't do like this, don't do like this, do like that. But if they've all got into their own heads, I'm going to do this because Colin Baker did this sort of thing in Blake 7 years ago. I'm going to emulate him, right? I'm going to do exactly the same. Paul Darrow, I think, is just well over the top.
What?
No, I loved it.
He
was well over the top.
The best.
He was a villain. That's what
he was a villain. He was a villain. That was playing ridiculous. Up to a television audience.
Yeah,
but it's not supposed to be playing up to an audience.
Now, what do you expect, Suki?
I'm with Suki. The acting here was hammy.
No.
It was either non-existent or hammy.
No,
not having that. Not having that.
You're not. I'm not having whatever your guys are saying. I think he was well over.
He's supposed to make it over the top because it's a kid's show, isn't it? And it's supposed to come out, so they need to know.
He dialed it down. He dialed it down. So he was JNT hired him because he wanted him basically to play Avon, that kind of style. But then he wanted to play bloody, was it Richard III? Is Laurence Olivier's Richard III with it? He wanted a hump and everything on his shoulder. And he wants it so this is a toned down version because he got told off for really going for it. And I'd love to have seen them properly going for it. Like
I thought pretty much Paul Darrow was brilliant in it. I thought he did exactly what you would expect.
Pantomime.
A power-hungry lieutenant who just sees an opportunity and takes it. And he played up to that, and it was he chewed the scenery, but he's a fucking baddie. Every time the masters or every time the fucking doctor's on there, they're chewing the screen, they're chewing the scenery up. So why not him?
Yeah, but I don't want to see a repeat of the master. I wanted to see a performance that I would be able to believe in. The master I don't believe in half the time because he goes well over the top. Whereas Paul Darrow, and I know he can act, I just didn't like the performance that he was putting on.
Well, I was speaking to Paul Darrow the
was he really?
He said British Legion as well.
He said, Suki is a completely shit actor.
I've always said I was.
See, what I didn't
Never
get
said
with
that.
Paul Darrow was that it's like he's meant to be this really strong political leader and really kind of intuitive in the system and how it all works, but he just came across as crass and shouty and just, like I said, hammy over the top. So I didn't buy into his character. You could see through him completely, and
Well,
everyone around him would do.
I think that's meant to be though, because of how it's written. He's meant to show all the kiddies who's watching it. He's that evil bastard.
Yeah, but
those just don't know that, and they're following him. And you know what I mean? It might be a bit pantomime, you know, like he's the evil one and they're the good ones. But I loved it for that because all the other actors were pretty shit.
They were really bad.
We've watched some really bad Doctor in the past where the baddie is just an old man who doesn't really do anything. He's always the same.
Yeah.
This one is at least a baddie that's he's literally all the way through. His ambition is on display.
Yeah.
And you can't ask for more than that. Well, you can, Sucky, but you'd be wrong to ask.
I can't.
Can we say, talk about the robot? Because I love the robot in this. The
Oh.
blue-faced robot with a hair that speaks in like in
The Blue Man Group. Yeah.
Was that even
Android.
dubbed? Was it being dubbed, or was he putting that?
No.
That's
The
worse.
Android. Yeah, it was great.
I
The
loved it.
Android
I
was
love
cool.
the Android. I think the Android to me.
That was crap.
Oh no! I loved it.
What I loved were the beekeepers that they had running around the
Yeah.
yards.
Beekeepers.
Yeah, that's what they were. They were wearing beekeeper hats.
They were slightly sexy in that outfit. I thought.
I like the rebels as well. I like the
Yeah,
bald
yeah.
man with the tash. I recognise him from other stuff,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
mainly being
recognise
a
him.
hard drinking copper or something like that.
There were a lot of them were wearing like pashminas. I don't know what that was all about.
Oh, they love a pashmina in Doctor Who.
They do.
Yeah.
There was a really the one of the rebel women. Apparently, she's like royalty as well in real life, and apparently she's just really posh and didn't talk to anyone and stuff.
Was it
No,
the Queen?
The blonde, the blonde,
the Duchess
lady.
of Beaufort.
Is that it? Yeah,
Yeah.
She was quite good. She was probably one of the better actors.
Yeah, she
in
was
this.
actually one of the better ones there.
I don't think any of them were any good at. I think it's the weakest acting right through in Doctor I've seen, including H.G. Wells. You know, he was just terrible.
I really I still like it.
I like the concept of it. Yeah, no, he was good, but
I still like it. I like the guy
I-
doing it as well.
Yeah, I didn't mind H.G. Wells being in the show, but the fact that they tried to cram so many of his ideas from his books into this one story. I mean,
how many did you cram?
there's
Oh,
like
Jesus.
the time machine was in there. There's
Yeah.
the experiments on humans, which is the island Dr.
Dr.
Moreau.
Dr. Moreau.
You had the aliens fighting each other, War of the World. You had the Invisible Man, where you're trying to all this stuff. There's other things I assume, but
Four,
those are the
nice.
four that I can.
Oh, thanks, Suck. You just educated me. I couldn't get
Yeah,
the
I didn't know that.
Yeah, feeling intelligent.
I knew
now.
the Morlocks bit, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only bit I clicked on.
Well, I guess the time machine, and
Oh,
I
of
guess
course,
the
yeah, the
Morlock.
Invisible Man where he's doing all the weird.
Yeah, he
time
did-
crystal
yeah, yeah.
I didn't
shifting.
understand that. I must admit, it went over my head.
I don't even remember that.
He's
bit.
just shifting himself about time, but he had
Yeah,
a little
but-
viewer so you could see where he actually was in real time.
Yeah, but
Oh,
he
that
had
bit,
to do it
yeah, yeah.
first to make an impression or something, didn't he? I couldn't understand how he
Yeah,
did it.
I
Don't
thought
remember.
I thought it was a great idea, that part, by the way.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
The idea
I
of
liked
having
it.
a sort of like you like creating a buffer zone of like 20 seconds so that if anything's watching you, they're 20 seconds behind all the time. I think it's a really
And
great
also the
idea.
bit where he looks like he's being killed. It's quite
Yes,
cool.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that's a
Well,
good little.
I
gripper.
did enjoy how when they did kill them, like they killed is it Micros or Micros? That guy, they just turned into an uncompensated skeleton and fell to the floor.
Yeah.
That was great. That was
Yeah,
great.
that Eric Deacon. That's the one the older dude that I've seen in quite a lot of bits, and he's a good actor. He is. I thought.
There's bits where the direction of it. Now, who did the directing? Pennant Roberts.
Bennett Roberts.
It's just terrible. Where they having that little push and shove about, where it's like, oh, don't throw my boyfriend into the time lash. She grabs the
Yeah.
amulet thing and she stands right next to the time lash, and she gets pushed in. It's like some of it's a bit just too
It was a bit
obvious and
wooden, yeah, it was-
stupid.
You could see the placing, couldn't you, of where they were
Yeah,
told
it's,
to-
like,
Go.
why? And when they was fighting, which we've seen better fighting than this before in Doctor Who, it was very slow to the point where the choreography was you could have moved out of the way quicker.
Well, does that come down to what we said before about the fact they were out of the pantomime so often, so maybe they weren't able to freshen up what they're doing, so it was all still very new to them?
There's a quote by Patrick Mulcairn of Radio Times that says Pennant Roberts wasn't one of the Doctor Who's most dynamic directors, but he was shrewd at casting, which says a lot.
He cast Louise Jameson as leader. He was a big part of that as well.
He also went on to direct, we did Break 7, obviously, and Juliet Bravo, Tenko and Howard's Way. Some massive things from the 80s.
Oh, wow. Tenko was good.
I don't think it's the worst direction I've ever seen in Doctor Who.
No,
No,
but
it isn't.
if you're given,
Well, it's a
if you're
very
given
fucking low bar, though, Bob.
Yeah, if you're given a really bad script to direct, right, you've got to try and make the best of it. And to be honest, there's some bits that are quite good. I mean, I liked the whole thing with the Robert Ashby as a Borat, confessing to everything and basically being the bad guy. I quite liked all that. But then I didn't like the fact that there's a clown. He kills him off, and then he comes back as a clown just for an added cliffhanger. Which I think, why do that? Just don't kill him off, but why not? And then this also then comes into the bit where he's trying to repopulate the planet. If you can repopulate the planet using clones, what's the point of having Perry and the gases?
It's an android, isn't it?
Who? No,
we're talking about Borat. aren't we?
Borat.
But yeah,
Oh,
he
I
comes
see.
back
right at the end, he
yeah,
comes
yeah,
back as a
yeah,
clown,
yeah,
doesn't he?
Yeah, but you did right, Suki, on that. Then, to be fair,
because I was also unsure about.
I think he just wanted a shag. Yeah, that's
He
what
did
it
want
is.
it.
Yeah.
Well, down there in that chair.
Just wanted to get his flipper out.
But her American
Imagine
accent's
those, the
always
length
well
of
done.
those fingers, though. Imagine.
Oh yeah.
You could do some serious fun with those things.
Yeah, you could do some serious spanking or play baseball. One of the two.
I think you play bass.
You wouldn't have much
Yeah,
slap, would you?
slap,
Really?
yeah.
Now? Yeah. But
be a
Perry talks
thud.
about the Daleks, doesn't she? But she hasn't met the Daleks when she talks about the Daleks because I spotted that straight away.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm assuming, was this meant in the initial scheduling to come after?
No,
I didn't think it was. Just
pay
Or
much attention.
maybe she just
No.
knew about them from the fact she's lived with the Doctor for fucking
Yeah,
ages, and then
maybe
it's
it's
bound to have come up.
Maybe he's got a diary. She read it.
Maybe he's got some episodes of Doctor Who on there.
diary.
Got back and watched it.
Yeah, do you want to sit and watch me,
there's-
Doctor Who?
there's another continuity error in which, because this story was, instead of John Pertwee, Katie Manning, Third Doctor and Joe had been the ones that had visited this planet before, it was going to be the First Doctor, Ian, Susan and Barbara. But so that got changed around. But there's a scene where Tekka goes to somebody, he says, oh, he's only traveling with one companion this time. Well, previously he only traveled with one companion anyway. If the Katie Manning was the only one that visited the planet.
I mean,
So
to be
these
honest,
all these little
They've not cleaned
these
it
little
up, have they?
bits. Yeah, Eric Saywood or whoever is responsible, Glenn McCoy, right, should have had a good look at this script and started afresh and done something with
I don't
it.
think they
But
gave
the
a
day,
shit.
I mean, again, you got like the first episode overrunning by 6 minutes, and the next episode being really, really short, and they've had to take bits out of the first episode to put into the second and change the narrative of the episode, so it just spoils it.
I
If it
very,
had ended on the proper
I-
cliffhanger,
I very much get
it
the
would have
idea.
been
That,
okay.
I very much get the idea that they just had to get these fucking things done and out
Yeah.
at some point.
It's definitely the weakest of the entire season 22. It stands out. It jars amongst the rest as being. It just hasn't got the same finish to it, either the script, the acting, or the overall production.
The whole idea is very much like other episodes of Doctor Who I've seen as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it just
There's
feels very much
definitely
like that.
There's a mismatch. There's a few little ideas, and not just of Doctor Who, with general sci-fi and narrative, but the little bit at the end was I quite like that as well, where the Borat is going to be the Loch Ness monster
Oh, I
or
thought it was,
whatever.
I
Yeah.
hated it. I hated it.
But that bit,
Yeah, I
would be
don't like
fun,
that.
though. I
Yeah.
don't know.
A bit of fun. A bit of fun.
Yeah.
It might have been a bit of fun.
You know, I find
but
I just find
got-
it draining because I felt the last 20 minutes of it wasn't needed. there was 10 minutes as he's rushing into the TARDIS to save this missile on the way to blow up a planet. And they're on a discussion with Perry why it's important you should stay on the planet. Then he has a discussion with H.G. Wells, and you're like, whoa, how slow is this missile?
Well, it's like the whole first episode when they're there with those kind of those seatbelts on and swinging around the
I tell you
TARDIS.
what, that fucking that weird little monster on that
pointless.
spaceship with squeaky voice was a bit wank.
Well, the snakes.
I like the
quite
puppet.
liked
I
it.
like the puppet, the actual
Yeah, I
puppet.
like
that.
that.
That was all right. Like the
I
bit Cliff's
like
just
the
gone on about
puppets.
with them 2 scenes. They're padded extra scenes that
Yeah.
they had to film the following serial because the show was underrunning. They had to go around and film these 2 scenes just to pad that second episode out. Right, so that's what I mean about how bad this story is.
I thought
That they couldn't even get the timing right on it.
Sorry,
Do you know
John.
you are, Siki? You're a microcephalic apostate.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, well, it's Colin. What does that mean exactly? What is that exactly? does that mean?
Microcephalicism is when somebody has a very small head when they're a child, born with an extraordinarily small head.
There you go.
Baby's head is much smaller than expected.
What's it if you got an extra small penis?
Cliffism.
I think they're the same thing.
Cliffism.
Really.
Called cliffism. Yeah.
That's it.
Carl.
No,
Growing up,
don't
show
go there, Craig. Don't go there. You mentioned cocks. Craig is going to go there.
I'll quickly switch it. One thing what also ruined it for me was the music. Apart from it hardly being in there,
Well, I was
the
gonna say,
music
I
what
don't-
was there was
Yeah, I can
terrible.
remember it actually. you
It's just
said it,
more plonk, 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 plonk,
Yeah.
plonk, plonk. It was terrible. Especially
Well-
when we just recently watched The Five Doctors and the music in that was amazing. Really enjoyed that.
I mean, I think that it just underlines once again that they just needed to get this thing fucking out to fill up the episode slots. And they didn't give too much of a shit how good it was because you bastards will eat it up anyway, so it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
God,
loved it. I
absolutely.
absolutely loved it as a kid. I do know that I loved this as a kid.
There were some really odd scenes in it, like when the doctor's like in the hexagon room, the Timelash, I suppose.
Yes.
It is,
Yeah.
and he's got a rope and he's like, everybody's trying to pull him, and that woman's just fucking standing there.
I know, it's like help.
Just fucking help! Pull the fucking rope, woman.
Yeah. Because also, like, you make this whole thing, the time stream is really strong and powerful, can flip the TARDIS off course, but he's just hanging in a rope in it.
Yeah.
And there's not even
I mean,
swaying. There's no kind of, there's nothing else in that time stream.
You've got to film it, and that'd be expensive, so let's not bother.
There's a scene when he's actually sitting astride of one of them hexagonal things,
Yeah.
right? And they're still straining on the rope at the top. Why are they still straining? Because he's sitting there, he ain't gonna be.
That's an editorial situation right there.
Yeah.
because
Yeah, it's
they'll have
just
clipped it down to whatever
Terrible.
they needed.
Do you think they were tired at this point and they were saving themselves for the Dalek episode, which they knew they had to get right?
I
I think by the sound of it, they was a bit annoyed.
Or they just realized it was all crap and just said, oh, let's make the best we can do of it.
There's a few bits in it which I just found a bit strange, like that woman carrying around Joe Pendant's picture in a pendant with a lock off.
Yeah.
What's all that about? Like, why would
Leading-
you carry that around?
Leading Perry around on a dog with a dog collar and a
No,
lead.
I wouldn't mind doing that.
No,
so
I
that's all right. Not walking
Can't
that.
help you there.
I quite like the prison scene where they had her strapped by that thing to the one pole. I thought it was quite
That
a
prison
genius
looked
idea.
really good.
that.
I like
Yeah.
like
A corridor.
avant-garde type
Yeah, they were-
movement where all
Yeah.
bars are going this way. It was really
I quite
cool.
like that. There's some good sets there, actually.
They
The
never, did
wobbly
get,
sets were good.
they never did get to 1179, did they?
What's
damn.
1179?
No, the date, what they was going to.
Oh,
don't
no,
know.
no.
I'm just making an assumption you've actually watched the episodes, Craig.
I have watched the episode. I know, but like something I watched about 2 weeks ago, and since then,
Yeah, me too.
I
But
could not.
I wrote fucking notes.
Oh, I did, but only 4 pages. It all said shit, shit, shit.
Yeah.
It did.
So we
You
have
copied
a
my notes then, Craig.
Yeah, you sent them to me.
So we have a go round for the last go round. I need
Yeah.
2 words as well.
I have
So
got me 2 words written down, John.
yours can be last
I have
now,
not,
please.
so I'm going to have to make it
All
up
right.
when it comes to me.
Bob, what are your last thoughts? And
Well, not really last thoughts on this episode, but just on the In Conversation with Nicola Bryant bonus with Matthew Sweet. He does the best interviews. He is the best interview I've ever seen, especially at Doctor Who because he's such a fan. But I found out so much stuff that I had no clue. One of which was when you were saying about trying to make them do pantomime, and she didn't want to do it. So when she put her foot down, when they did the fix with Son Tarrans on Jimmy Savile, the reason why Nicola Bryant's not there is and Janet Fielding's there as Tegan is because she wouldn't do the panto. So to get her back, JNT did that. But the thing that fascinated me most, and it starts in the interview, is that her age, she was married to an American, and obviously she's English, and they were looking for, however it happened, she did this theatre play, and whoever saw her, her agent to be or whatever, she was doing American accent. So he genuinely thought she was American, so put down as genuine, whatever. And when they were looking for someone to play Pepper Gillian Brown, they wanted a genuine American actress. So her agent said, just pretend to be American. So she went in, pretended to be American, thinking that if she got the part, then she'd tell him, that she wasn't American, she was really English. But she never did. The whole time while she was playing.
I didn't know that.
The time. So when she was doing interviews, she had to do it in American, and then she eventually said that she's got dual nationality, so she's American English, but still did this half American accent. So the only person that ever found out a year in to her playing Perry was Colin Baker. She went round for dinner at his house with her husband, who was American, and she told him then because she couldn't continue the facade. So then only him and her knew. So for however long it was,
3 years, wasn't it?
Everyone thought she was American. So she played an American all the time. And she said, like, the only time she was really happy was when she was being American, because then she was genuinely acting. Whereas, but look, she wasn't the type of person that went socializing or speaking to others much, so she kind of could get away with it. But yeah, so all this stuff, she was just in this interview came out, and I had no idea that's how she had to play.
No way.
And it wasn't just to the on set and everything, it was to the public when she was doing all this stuff, because you got to do all these interviews and that, so she was having to pretend to be this American all the time. And that's why she never got so much.
So the moral is, don't lie.
But she was saying to her agent, can't I just tell him? And he was like, absolutely not. And then it came to a point where no one was bothered, it was whatever. And she saw John Nathan Turner at a later date at a wedding, dressed in, because he used to want to dress in all this sort of sexy stuff and all this sort of stuff. He was
what
like,
he thought was sexy.
Yeah, and he was like, and he was obviously gay, so obviously he doesn't probably maybe understand that it's not too sexy to be, a female in whatever she was wearing. But she wore her own stuff and had her English accent, and she met him at this thing, and he went, "You look fabulous, you look gorgeous, dressed as you, being you," but never mentioned her accent. And it's all this. It was just so weird. This whole. Because he thought she was going to be the next big thing, this big American actress. So he was very much like trying to mold her, what she wore, what she did. Not in a
Svengali.
Yeah, Svengali basically, and just make her what this and he would be the one that said I found her, and all this stuff. And I just was like, fucking hell, because she's a really clever, articulate woman, who has had a hell of a life. She was caring for a mum who was very ill at like 13, 14 years old, and all this stuff. And it's one of the most. I didn't have a clue about any of this, and mind blowing that she had to pretend to be American for 3 years to the world, apart from when she was at home. Mental, isn't it?
Yeah, that is bonkers.
Mental. But I'd definitely recommend if you haven't. And
it's the next one I'm going to watch. I've started going through the specials, and I've just watched the Colin Baker years, and I've watched everything. But because you'd mentioned it on one of the messages, so literally the interview with her, it's about an hour long, isn't it? I've already sussed it out.
Excellent interview.
It doesn't feel like an hour either, does it? It goes like that.
Just flies by, because there's so much stuff that just saying. I don't know if it's for the first time or anything, but there's so much stuff that just comes out about the inner workings of Television Centre, where stuff that used to happen then is now really, really frowned upon now. And she says, I just never used to bat an eyelid. It's just one of these things that used to happen, and you just think, yes, now you can't go around doing them sort of things, but it's all stuff that's coming out, and good on her for airing it.
And she's not doing it in a bitter way. It's not like whatever. No. It's just like, this is what happened at the time, and I have had a good life and all that. But because she lied about being American, she never got any work.
No.
So she wanted to go and do all the sort of more like period dramas, and she would have been brilliant at it, as an actress, because she was. Although you may not see it so much in being Perry, but she was a fantastic actress. But she got cut off no one would employ her because she was a liar. How
Oh,
fucking
right,
bad's that?
okay.
Oh, wow, that's
So
not
she'd
Not-
acted for
she
3
acted
years.
it, yeah. That's
Amazing. So her agent thought at the end of it, you're going to get loads of work if you can act for 3 years constantly, but no, she basically was struck off.
I didn't know that.
The one person that really thought she had really big potential was her drama teacher. Now, as soon as she went back to her after she'd got the job in Doctor Who, she was, well, I've got the job. And she apparently, the drama teacher just cried. She says, you've just ruined your career.
Yeah.
Right. Because the drama teacher saw much potential in Nicola Bryant to actually do a lot of jobs, proper acting. But she would have took that job and then she just thought she'd ruin it. But to be honest, Nicola Bryant ain't bitter. She's probably thought to herself, I've had a really good life and I've traveled all over the world because of this show. And I've just, it's one of them things.
Did she go on to do anything else?
Another.
Did she actually continue? I don't ever remember seeing anything else. I thought she was a good actress in this. Well, not this episode.
The only thing I saw in after this was a Blackadder Christmas Carol.
Oh,
she was in that as one of his one of the daughter-in-law or something like that, spoilt daughter-in-law. That's the only thing I saw her in. Oh, she did a commercial, didn't she? Last couple of years ago, where she played a woman that was coming down with an illness and it was for life insurance.
Oh, so nothing of note is
no.
She was in Holby City. What more do you want?
John's just been googling it. I bet he's just been googling it right now.
I'm googling it now. She was in the finale of Star Trek Continues, which was
the web series.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like it blew my mind anyway. I couldn't believe. I had no idea about all that. So yeah, bless her.
It's interesting.
Brilliant,
and this goes to show why it's important to buy those Blu-rays, because being like me, you wouldn't see that. That's a good note for all the YouTubers.
Yeah,
don't be a cunt like me and rip it off.
My 2 words would be, not really, magic flipper.
And John, what's your any last thoughts or 2?
No. Oh, my 2 words. No, I don't really have any last thoughts on it particularly. It's not that interesting enough to make any more. But I'm going to say microcephalic apostate as my 2 words.
Oh, that's cool.
Little Ed.
Which is ironic because I've got a huge head.
Massive.
I've got a massive one.
I've got a tiny head. I have to buy children's hats.
Of course you've got a tiny head.
You and I do genuinely. I can't wear an adult cap.
You can't wear, Christmas when you get these things out, the crackers to put in your head.
Yeah.
They never fit.
No, they don't. They slide down my face.
No, they literally won't go over my head without splitting.
I hope you put them children back, Craig.
Get your tiny head out of your hands.
Your hands look massive. Oh no, your head's just really little.
Well, I'm going to change mine because I really like Bob's idea of the flipping kind of running gag. So I'm going to go with flipping shit.
Oh, nice one. Suki was going to use that, I think.
Yeah.
Suki, what's yours?
Well, I did say earlier on it was shit, and I was going to go with fucking shit. But then now he's got to use flipping shit.
Yes, different.
Right. So I'm just going to go with utter tosh.
The tosh.
This is just rubbish.
Tosh sounds dead posh. Utter tosh.
It does sound tosh. Utter tosh.
And to finish it off, my 2 words would be John Merrick.
Oh no, you can't belittle.
What is John Merrick?
It's
the Elephant Man.
You literally watched the film with us, Bob.
Oh yeah. I'm walking up. It's John Merrick in it. Yeah.
No, you can't.
There he is. Look there.
I was obsessed with John Merrick as a kid. I read books and everything about him.
Did you wank over him, Craig?
No, I really did not do that.
That's a challenging one, isn't it?
Did you flip one out over the Elephant Man?
No, I really no. I'm not even going down that line.
He's got a massive head, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Just like me.
I'm jealous of a big head.
And what have we got next time?
There's a time and a place for it.
Oh yeah. So we need to pick our stories.
Yes.
Pick our stories.
I'm really upset about this now because I was generally going to choose Dalek Invasion of Earth, but I'm not going to now because season 2's been released. So I do know what I'm going with. I've chosen. Hang on.
Well, wait till you get asked, Craig.
Yeah, no, I can't remember what it's called. So.
I'll give people a second to pick something.
Well, I'm good to go, Cliff.
Bobby.
I am going to try again with Sharda. because I want to watch the special edition of all
Good.
the cartoons and that.
And Suki,
I am gonna go with
looking at his DVD
No,
collection
no,
for
no,
anyone who's
no.
listening.
It's actually no.
DVD time. We should have a, we
Right.
should have a bloody
That's
cassette.
for this.
That is a £10 note for the YouTubers. That's a £10 note from the story Runaway Bride. It's one of the genuine £10 notes that they spilled out of the cash.
So make sure it doesn't get mixed up with the rest of your fake currency. So
Yeah, well, it's kept separate from all that. So I am going to go with the Runaway Bride.
Oh,
Runaway
fucking hell.
Bride, right? Okay.
yeah, not
Is that Donna in it?
Yeah,
Donna.
Donna's first story.
Oh
Yeah.
God,
John,
Shadow.
good.
Yes, John. Nice.
Craig,
Because he keeps
mine
coming
is-
up in conversation, so fucking I want to see this thing.
Mine is very similar to Suki's, but not exactly. It's not her first, but it's her second episode. So I'm going to go with Partners in Crime because I'm thinking of getting an adipose
Right,
tattoo.
come on, this is important now.
God.
and mine is
Shadow.
Mind Warp.
Oh, from
Just 'cause-
season 20.
Yeah, I got into Sixth Doctor again. I thought it was fun.
Right. Well, let's roll this D6 here. D6. On the roll. Oh, it's a 6, which means we have to roll again. Love to get 6 in actual
tension.
D&D. Oh, 2. Who's 2?
It was
It's fucking Sucky, isn't it?
yeah.
You dickhead.
What have you done, Suki?
What are you talking about? Hey, shut up, all of you.
I'm
Runaway
excited.
Bride.
I'm excited. Suki.
I don't know about you, but I really, from my memories of watching like the Runaway Bride and for watching all the Donna ones, I know you everybody likes Donna, but I fucking hated her.
Well, it's
All
always
of
good
it,
to
I
review. This
hated
is,
them.
you might not be so. Time gives love.
No, it's her. It's the actress playing her.
And I
I
think-
just don't
I
like
think-
what
I
she
just-
does.
I can't be out. I don't like watching David Tennant. I'm really gutted he's coming
Really?
back.
Yeah,
I
me neither.
liked him at the time, and then I got sick of him, and I can't go back and watch him now.
Yeah, he's getting a
No, I
bit
have
like
to.
This is gonna be
Michael
great
Caine of
news.
TV.
This is
He's
my
on everything
version.
now.
You guys are going to have my version of Timelash.
No, but I get pissed off because I want to watch a cool Doctor Who, monthly, so I get to talk about it with my friends. But then you pick this shit, and I don't.
Hold on. Don't blame me.
You
Blame
picked
your dice.
Shada.
Blame your dice. You're the one that decides to go, phew, roll the dice.
And you didn't
Oh,
have to
2.
tell the truth. We'd
Yeah,
never have known.
you- Yeah, yeah.
You're not allowed to roll dice.
You can't
and
lie
not
about
tell
the dice.
truth.
You
No,
can't lie
I know.
about that.
Come on, come on, Craig. You know the
I'm going to be
rules.
so dead. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Better watch
Anyway.
what you roll tomorrow, innit?
Yeah, you better add to. I might feel like
I do
killing
it
somebody
electronically.
Anyway, and then we've got Runaway Bride for the next one of Around the Console. We'll also keep listening for our next TVL. Time Lord Victoria. TLV. That's it.
Time Lord
TLV. I can't even get this.
Can't get
The
it
finale,
right.
the final episode of
TLV
TLV. The final
It's
episode.
coming as well. Okay, bye-bye all. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Wait for it coming.
Fucking runaway
Fuck me
fucking
too.
bride.
Fucking
Hey.
asshole.
Fantastic.
I love the
Shut up,
Runaway
all of you.
fucking bride.
Yeah,
Done
shut
that.
up.
Done that
I'm
on
with Suki.
purpose, man.
Yeah,
Come on, Suki. We'll be our United stand like in the past.
you better not be keeping all this in.